Everybody is looking for answers after the shocking events in Doha. Welcome to Universal Insight. Please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for more updates. The world watched in shock, glued to their screens as the first images emerged. Smoke billowed over Doha's iconic skyline on September 10th, transforming the city's familiar silhouette into a scene of uncertainty and fear. An unprecedented Israeli strike shattered the city's calm, sending shockwaves across the Gulf and far beyond its borders. The attack was not just an assault on a city but a jolt to the entire region's sense of security. Sirens replaced the usual bustle, echoing through deserted streets as emergency vehicles raced to respond. The attack raised urgent questions about regional security, the reliability of old alliances, and the future of peace in the Gulf. For Gulf nations, it was a wake-up call. Billions spent on defense had not prevented this. The sense of invulnerability was gone, replaced by anxiety and a scramble to reassess strategies. In Beijing, leaders quickly realized the strike threatened both their energy interests and their Belt and Road ambitions. The stability of the Gulf was crucial to China's global plans. China, long a careful economic partner, now faced a direct challenge to its regional strategy. The calculus had changed overnight, and the stakes had never been higher. As misinformation and rumors swirled online, confusion deepened. The world wondered, would China respond in a way it never had before? Would this crisis force Beijing to step out of its comfort zone? The digital fog of war made it nearly impossible to separate fact from fiction, fueling anxiety and speculation across continents. All eyes turned east, waiting for Beijing's next move, one that could reshape the balance of power in the region, and perhaps the world. Beijing's response was swift and forceful, leaving no room for ambiguity about its position on the crisis. Within hours of the incident, Chinese officials were already preparing statements and reaching out to international partners, determined to make their stance known on the world stage. China's foreign ministry condemned the Israeli strike as a violation of Qatar's sovereignty and a dangerous escalation that threatened to destabilize the entire region. The official statement was delivered with a tone of urgency, emphasizing the need for all parties to exercise restraint and respect international law. This was a rare direct rebuke. China made it clear a red line had been crossed. Beijing's language was unusually blunt, signaling a shift from its traditionally cautious diplomatic approach. The message was unmistakable. China would not tolerate actions that undermine regional stability. Beijing called for de-escalation, but also threw its weight behind an emergency Arab-Islamic summit in Doha, urging regional leaders to come together and find a peaceful solution. China's support for the summit was both symbolic and practical, highlighting its growing influence in Middle Eastern affairs. Chinese diplomats worked closely with Gulf leaders to craft a unified response, signaling China's new role as a political stakeholder. Behind the scenes, Chinese officials engaged in intense discussions, seeking common ground and building trust with their counterparts. High-level Chinese envoys arrived in Doha, holding closed-door meetings to discuss long-term strategies for regional stability. These meetings focused not only on immediate crisis management, but also on building frameworks for future cooperation and conflict prevention. China used the summit as a platform to promote its vision for a new security architecture in the Middle East, one that would be less reliant on Western powers and more inclusive of regional voices. This approach was welcomed by several countries seeking alternatives to traditional alliances. This marks a significant shift. China is now willing to engage directly in the Middle East's security challenges, moving beyond economic interests to play a more active diplomatic and strategic role. Beijing's message was clear. China stands ready to protect its interests and its partners in times of crisis, and is prepared to take on greater responsibility in shaping the region's future. In the days after the strike, social media exploded with rumors of Chinese troops and jets arriving in the Gulf. Viral videos claimed to show Chinese military intervention, but investigations quickly debunked them as old footage and misinformation. No credible evidence supported claims of new Chinese deployments. The spread of these rumors highlights the power of digital deception in modern crises. For many, the idea of a Chinese protector was comforting, but it was fiction. In reality, China's response remained diplomatic, not military. The dragon roared in diplomacy, not on the battlefield. While new deployments were false, China's presence in the region is real and long-standing. The PLA Navy has patrolled the Gulf of Aden since 2008, protecting shipping lanes and projecting influence. China's only overseas military base in Djibouti supports anti-piracy and humanitarian missions, giving Beijing a strategic foothold. Recent joint exercises like the 2025 air drills with Egypt are part of a long-term strategy, not a reaction to the crisis. These activities show China's patient approach, building influence, protecting interests, and avoiding direct confrontation. When Beijing speaks, it does so with ships already in the region and partnerships already in place. This established presence gives weight to China's diplomatic moves. The recent Israeli strike has sent shockwaves through the Gulf, forcing states in the region to fundamentally reconsider their long-standing reliance on the U.S. security umbrella. The sense of vulnerability is palpable, as leaders question whether old alliances can still guarantee their safety in an increasingly unpredictable environment. For decades, the presence of American bases and military support was seen as an unshakable guarantee of protection. U.S. troops, advanced weaponry, and intelligence sharing formed the backbone of Gulf security. But now, doubts are growing about Washington's willingness and ability to intervene decisively if new threats emerge. In response, Gulf leaders are quietly exploring new security partnerships, looking beyond traditional allies. China, with its rising global influence, is quickly moving to the top of the list as a potential alternative. China's appeal lies in its reputation as a powerful, non-interventionist partner, one that is deeply invested in the region's economic future, but less likely to interfere in domestic affairs or demand political concessions. Economic ties between China and the Gulf are already robust. China is now the Gulf's largest trading partner and a key customer for its vital energy exports, fueling rapid growth and infrastructure development across the region. Still, a dramatic shift away from the U.S. is unlikely in the near term. American defense systems, training programs, and intelligence networks remain deeply embedded in Gulf militaries, making any sudden realignment difficult and risky. For now, Gulf states are hedging their bets, signaling to Washington that they still value the partnership, while simultaneously opening doors to Beijing and other emerging powers. The region is entering a new era of strategic balancing, where flexibility and diversification are becoming the keys to survival in a rapidly changing world. As the dust settles, the facts are clear. China's response has been diplomatic, not military. The Gulf is rethinking its security future, with China playing a bigger political role. Rumors of Chinese military intervention remain fiction. No new deployments have occurred. China's existing activities, naval patrols, the Djibouti base, and joint drills, continue as before. The real story is a gradual shift. Gulf states balancing old alliances with new partnerships. The U.S. remains deeply entrenched, but China's influence is growing. The Middle East stands at a crossroads, with Beijing poised to shape the region's next chapter. The world is watching as a new balance of power emerges in the sands of the Gulf.